CSC. I'm Tyler Gow alongside John Hanna. And John, welcome back, first of all.
It has been a while,
and
Tyler,
Jack,
let me tell you that
what
much.
do we have? Or John, you're not Jack, you're John. There we go.
I mean, technically Jack is also John,
That's
but
right.
he goes by Jack.
That's true. What do we have for the people at home today?
Well, as you saw in that little intro, Brett Kiesel, he's not joining the show, unfortunately, but, you know, football player. We have RMU football as they winded down their season against Monmouth. And we also have some hockey news. There was a, fun little event going down at the Island earlier today that I was at. Just a great event. But speaking of things that happened earlier today, Tyler, RMU women's basketball was in action this morning, or not this morning, but this afternoon, as they traveled to Detroit to take on Detroit Mercy to open Horizon League play. Let's see how they did in that one. So Colonial's here going to wind up with a 55-46 win, their first Horizon League win. They jumped out to a 7-6 lead with 4:24 to go in the first quarter, and they never looked back, Tyler, never dropping that lead. Esther Castillo leading them, shooting 9 for 11, 23 points, while Alejandra Mastral with 12 points, and Sydney Searcy with 9 points for Detroit Mercy there.
That's right, John. Definitely a good performance for Esther Castillo. She's been nothing but consistent for this team since she's gotten here. And speaking of another team that was in action, men's basketball traveled to Lexington, Kentucky for round 3 of Toole versus Calipari. Ethan Morrison has more. Take it away, Ethan.
Early on here at Rupp Arena, Oscar Toshibe's able to muscle and get the board there and still muscle his way. Man, he's still going, trying to get through and finds a way to get through to give Kentucky a 5-2 lead early on. What a force down low is Oscar Toshibe. We're going to hear a lot more of his name tonight. Then it's stolen by Kentucky. Kellen Grady drives down the court, gets fouled on the layup, and he makes the basket count it, and he's able to convert the end one. Then Michael Green, doing some stuff on his own here, gets the jelly roll for the Robert Morris to cut the lead 16-8. Then he makes some plays of his own on the defensive side, trying to make the fast break layup, does not, it gets blocked, but the officials call goaltending on the play. Then, shortly thereafter, Farron Flavors able to be found wide open. He drains it. It is now 28-18 with about 6 minutes to go in the game. Then late in the first half, Kentucky steals it. Kellen Grady once again able to make the layup there off the turnover. And then Michael Green, as time expires though, nails the triple to cut the lead within 16 at the end of the half. Let's go to the second half now. First off, Justin Winston able to be found, and he nails the wide open triple to make it 50-33. Then Khalil Spear gets blocked by Toshibe. Once again, a very impressive front court presence for the Wildcats, as always. Then Kellen Grady able to be found. What a pump fake on Cheeks as he's able to drill the three-point jumper right there. What a play. And then Grady again nails one from the outside. They just cannot miss from the outside. They were 8 for 11 in the second half on three-point attempts. Then Toshibe with a rebound, dishes out to Mintz. Mintz is able to fire and nail the three-point triple. The triple once again for Kentucky. Then Mintz finally, again, the onslaught continues as the Wildcats roll on to beat Robert Morris 100-60 in this game. What an impressive performance for Toshibe as he gets 20 rebounds in the winning effort. Let's break it down.
Now, Tyler, the Colonials weren't the only people from RMU there. I wasn't there. I was somewhere else. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there, actually. I don't know if you could see me on the sidelines taking photos, but I was down there alongside Nate Breisinger as well. He was taking video for that game. It was really just a fun experience and a fun time there. And what a game for Oscar Tshiebwe. I mean, 20 rebounds, 16 points. Really, all season long, or before the season, he said he was going to average 20 rebounds. He did that through the first 2 games, and then he had 16 against Mount St. Mary's the other night.
Now, you guys left right after last week's CSC. Not even, what, an hour afterwards?
Yeah, not even.
So you got there what time, like 6 a.m.?
Around that. It was like 5:25 a.m. probably.
So what did you guys do from, when you got there to tip-off?
So it was actually a really fun experience. So we got there, we woke up, we left the hotel, we went to campus, we stuck around, we walked around a little bit, take a look at it, and then, of course, we went down to Kroger Field, which is their football stadium, and we walked up to it, and a security guard actually let us walk onto the field, talked a little bit about it, and we got to experience that and see their brand new press box, which looks like a spaceship. It's crazy. But, John, we were on the road that weekend, and I believe there was another team of CSI people on the road as well.
Yeah, we were actually at the football game. We were up in Monmouth, or West Long Branch, New Jersey, as RMU took on Monmouth. not quite the way Colonials wanted to end that. We'll get more on that later, but, New Jersey, great time. We stopped at a Wawa. Sheetz is much better, but
I can't say that, but for future reference and for more from the Kentucky trip and Monmouth trip, make sure you stay tuned for colonialsportsnetwork.com as well as at RMU_CSN on Twitter. We're going to have a ton of content. Also, brand new Instagram, Colonial Sports Network. Got to plug that as well. Really just, some incredible content coming forward that we're going to post very, very soon. Definitely want to stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, but, come up after the break, Tyler, we're going to talk more men's and women's basketball, and even later after that, hockey. I mentioned it earlier, but hockey has some news. Stay tuned here on Colonial Sports Center.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
So recently on Colonial Sports Center, we've had a tough time pronouncing names. Everybody just can't seem to get the flair for the names that we have here.
Supiani Melee?
Great.
Okay.
Number 2.
Neka Azibo.
Number 3.
Trinity Papamanjaris.
Okay, everybody together now. Santeri
Santeri
Hartikainen. Okay, let's get the easy ones out of the way. Number 1.
Rion Smythe?
Okay, Ryan Smith, you're close, okay.
Okay.
Number 2.
Luck Lynch.
Yeah, not quite, a little closer. Bring it to me.
Pete Matthews.
Pete Matthews. But hey, you're right there. Keep practicing. You're right there. All right, everybody. Last one together. You ready?
Coel Chasse.
It's Cole Chase. I think we should just, probably just find some new people. These guys.
And welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Now, Tyler, you mentioned RMU versus Kentucky. They also played another team a couple days ago. Tyler, why don't you tell us about that?
That's right. Men's basketball headed down to Ohio to take on the Bobcats all the way in Athens. Now, it was an 0-2 start to the season for them during this Kentucky Classic MTE. Let's see how they did against the Ohio Bobcats in this matchup. Starting things off pretty quickly, Khalil Spear, the newest inductee to Phi Slamma Jamma, as he gets a nice dunk in there to give the Colonials an early lead, 9-8, not looking so bad. They match them shot for shot. And then down the court, picking up some loose change, that's Jason Carter with the slam. He gets it in there, 33-24. Now stolen away, Jerron Williams, 19 points off the bench today, starts it off with a nice splash. He's all wet after that one. A nice little drop there. And then coming back to the other one, Jerron Williams drops back, here's another one. Bang, hits it from the outside. And once again, he is from way downtown. Now, Flavors, Farron Flavors, there we go, from the outside hits it. And then Khalil Spear inside, backing him down, firing it in. And the Colonials trying to claw their way back into this game with some time left. Can't really do so here in this one. And then moving it down, Michael Green in the sea of green hits a triple from the outside there. As you see that big MAC logo hits it right over that. The Colonials down 82-69. And then the icing on the cake here, London McDay makes the convo erupt. Final score 85-71 as the Colonials fall to 0-3 on the young season, and they move to Mount St. Mary's on Friday night for their home opener.
Now, the Robert Morris men's basketball team wasn't the only basketball team to face a MAC team from Ohio. However, women's basketball hosted Akron. Let's see how they fared in their first home game this season. So we're going to start off here, opening tip-off here, won by the Colonials. And now we're going to see a nice pass to Sol Castro. Nice hook shot in the paint to give Colonials a 2-0 lead. Colonials with 30 points in the paint this year. Sol Castro again, nice fake pass, going to nail that three-pointer. However, Akron answering right back here as a pass to Jordan Dawson. Nice little crossover, floats it in for 2. Now, winding down here in the first, Mackenzie Amelia is going to find a wide-open Asha Kloffenstein, and we're going to see here a great pass around Colleen Neitzel to give the Colonials the lead heading into the second quarter. Now, nice little handoff to Mackenzie Amelia for 3. Colonials shot 5 for 15 from deep. Jumped out to a 31-15 lead at half. Now, a great shot there by Rachel Martindale. Now in the third quarter, Kendall Miller going to drive, stop, and sink that one for 2 to give Akron a 41-40 lead. Now here in the fourth quarter, Amelia going to drive, find Castillo for the 3. And Akron not going to back down quietly as Lane Farrell to a wide open Dawson nails that three-pointer. And now last one here, Colleen Neitzel Nice little bounce pass there. Colonials lose this one 60-50. Outscored 16-8 in the fourth quarter there,
Yeah,
Tyler.
John, definitely a tough loss for them. And the basketball teams have seen some tough trials and tribulations as they head into the early portion of their season. Now, some of our best basketball analysts, Kevin Plaucha and Ethan Morrison, sat down with Sam Dutch to talk about the state of the current basketball programs. Take it away, Sam.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with basketball analysts Ethan Morrison and Kevin Plaucha, and they will be discussing the men's and women's RMU basketball teams. So, welcome, guys, to the round table. Thank you, Sam. So, first off, the men's and women's teams' records so far aren't the best. The men's have their record of 0-3 and the women 0-2. So, what improvements do you think these teams need to make?
When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you. We got football, we got hockey. Stay tuned for that.
Sorry about those technical difficulties,
course.
but what can you do?
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Welcome back here to Colonial Sports Center. Now, the football team is in the home stretch of their season. While their postseason aspirations have been dashed, they still had some games to play as they headed down to Jungle Land to take on the Monmouth Hawks in West Long Branch, New Jersey. Take it away to that game here as they really tried to just battle for the rest of the season. Here, they got a couple of games left against a tough team. We'll start things off here early on. George Martin starting things off here, going to drop back a little bit, and he's going to find a wide open DeMonte Martin for the touchdown. By the way, 7th different receiver with a touchdown this season for the Colonials. I believe that's a new record for the team as you see his team celebrating there. And it was 7-0 RMU pretty early. Gets a big celebration from the coaches and players on the sidelines really to start things off. And, you know, this team started off 7-0, but it was all Hawks after that. They really took control of this game from the go, and, you know, with a lightning delay and all that in between, really just a tough game for the Colonials to mount any of the comeback. They fell 44-7 in that one. But the story of that game was not anything like that. It was not the lightning, was not that. The Monmouth just continued to just absolutely dominate the offensive attack, really all game. Colonials couldn't mount anything after that opening touchdown. See here, George Martin dropping back. He's close to 2,000 yards, finds a little dunker here to Elijah Jackson, rolls up the middle, rolls through, gets tackled and taken down by Monmouth. They were pretty suppressing on defenses in this game. Once again, George Martin looking, and he's going to rush forward and find it, you know, into the zone for the Colonials, into the offensive zone, getting them pretty close to it, but they unfortunately did not score there, and they really could not score all the rest of the game. Like I said, 44-7, the final score. Here's Monmouth on offense. Tony Musket, he was the Big South Player of the Year last year, and moving forward, their running back, Jawan Fari, had a pretty good game on the offensive side as well. You see them slicing and dicing here. A little bit of a dodge and dash here for DeMonte Martin as he rushes upfield. He had a pretty good game. DeMonte Martin, like I said, the touchdown early on, really just, but that's pretty much all that the Colonials had in this one, like I said. 44-7 final score, less than 100 passing yards for Robert Morris. But, you know, that's not all the story to this game, as John Hanna is currently over with Colby Sherwin. Guys, take it away to talk about the football teams.
Well, thank you, Tyler. And as you said, I'm here with Colby Sherwin. Colby, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, it's been a rough season for the Colonials this year, going 3-6 so far. But, every rose does have its thorn, and every, shady day, has the sun. So, what's been the bright spot, if any, for this Colonial team so far?
I wouldn't say there are a lot of them. A couple come to mind. George Martin had a pretty good year this year. We'll get into that a little later. Elijah Jackson had a pretty good year. But to me, the one bright spot I saw a lot was they played really well at home. They only have lost one time this year to Kennesaw State, who's number 1 in the conference, and they're 8th in the country the time they came here.
And Colby, that away game, or that loss, snapped a 7-game road streak, or winning streak at home. So, Colonials have proven they can really bring it at Joe Walton Stadium, but on the road, it is a completely different story.
Exactly, and going back to that, this year they were able to come back from games we've seen. Charleston Southern comes to mind there. We've just seen them be able to battle and fight back when they've looked pretty bad early on, but continue to play well and rally around that home field advantage.
Now, you mentioned George Martin a bit earlier. He's close to that 2,000-yard mark, that big milestone any quarterback wants. Do you think he'll be able to pass it in the final game of the season against Campbell?
So I'm going to say yes, even though he didn't have a good game against Monmouth. He only needs 160 yards, and he's gone over that 6 times this year. He should be able to do with these. Looking at a little bit of his stats this year, 9 games, 1,840 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. If it's going off a full season, this is the lowest of his career. George has continued to improve a little bit as the years gone on. I think if the coaches give him a chance, he should be able to get it.
Yeah, I think one thing Tyler mentioned, 7 different receivers have caught a ball, so he's really showing the love there. 13 touchdowns this season, his highest, obviously. Games played haven't been exactly the same because you had the COVID shortened season last year and the year before, but for that matter. But Caleb Lewis as well. But then the third part, this team, they've struggled. Not gonna lie. How do they improve headed for next year? And, what needs to improve, really?
The number one thing that needs to improve is coaching. All around, it's been a complete failure for this team, and it's caused a lot of games. We've seen the offense be completely stale. Sometimes they're run heavy and forget the pass, forget George Martin even exists. Sometimes they're pass heavy and forget Elijah Jackson even exists. The defense cannot tackle. It is simple as that. We've seen it time and time again. They miss tackles. They got to be better. And Bernard Clark, a lot of times this year, has looked disinterested in the game. Coaching as a whole needs to be better if they're going to compete in the Big South.
Yeah, well, one thing I'd like to point out, Colby, their turnovers, while they only are at a -5 turnover differential, they still have 16 fumbles. 7 were recovered by the defense, but 16 total fumbles. So they really need to do a better job of holding on to that ball. But thank you for joining us, Colby. Now we're going to send it right over to Tyler, who has another team that's wrapping up their schedule in volleyball. Tyler, take it away.
Thank you, John. And yeah, like you guys said, the football team wraps up its season this weekend against Campbell. But another team that wrapped up their season last weekend was the volleyball team, as they took on a couple of teams from the Midwest. They started off with UIC, the Flames, one of the best teams in the conference. Let's see how they fared in this one, trying to win their first game since October 8th. Back at home, unfortunately, the Colonials once again not coming out with the win here, falling 3-2. Again, very close. A team that really goes hard early on and then just falls apart as it goes along. There, look at that second set, by the way. Just a marathon, 34-32 final score. Really a great game for Salma Abdelhadi, 25 points for the Flames. They ran away with this one. Alyssa Hudak had a pretty good game, 12 kills and 60 points, but it was not enough as the Colonials fell to the Flames 3-2. And then we're back again to the final game of the season as Green Bay came to town for what could be, or what was the last game for plenty of seniors. Senior day, really a special moment. Let's see if the Colonials could go out with a win and go out on a high note for next season. And they did not. A reverse sweep for Green Bay here as the Colonials took the first 2 sets and then could not muster up another strong effort for the remainder of the game. 3-2 the final score. They did not win since October 8th. You just witnessed probably what is one of the worst collapses in RMU volleyball history there, as they lost every game since that home game against Youngstown State on October 8th. A good game for Alexandra Zakutny, and really just a tough one for the seniors to take as they go out not on the note they maybe wanted, but that's all they had, and that's all we have currently as we move on to next season for volleyball. They look for a new coach moving on. Stay tuned for more here on Colonial Sports Center when we come back.
Is going to pass it off to 21. That's Adamo, and
Hey, be good. Keep your head up. Let's get this.
So take a look at this goal here. Nick Berkusik sneaks it over the shoulder of Logan Drackett to win it in overtime, and the Colonials snap the losing streak, and they'll head on to Holy Cross with a victory.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
I'm Jacob, I'm Oli, and you're watching Colonial Sports Center. Bing!
Thanks, Jacob and Oli, and welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. And one team that would be in action right now if they were currently around is the hockey teams, as they would be starting their seasons in Atlantic hockey, non-conference play, whatever you want to call it. But you know, they're still living on. They're still there was a rally to save RMU hockey down at the island today. And John, you were there. Why don't you tell us more about it?
So, you know, it was really, obviously I saw Jacob and Oli from On the Bench, Canadian hockey comedy duo. But Ryan Malone was there, Brett Kiesel, who you saw earlier. You know, they were just really shooting video, honestly. But, you know, they were just goofing around. They were, you know, 30, 40-year-olds just, yeah, just like, look here, just playing football on the ice. I mean, you play hockey, Tyler. Have you ever done something like this?
So I haven't played football on the ice before, but I've played soccer on the ice before. And let me tell you, that is no fun to run around in skates trying to kick a ball, because you're used to, you know, handling the pucks out there. But yeah, this looks like a lot of fun.
They get Brett Kiesel with the old open water bottle, and let me tell you, that is not someone I'd like to be angry with, Tyler.
Yeah, definitely not. A guy that probably hulks over all of us out here. But I mean, attempting kicks. I mean, what are we doing out here? This is incredible.
I mean, Sean Sweezum was there. You know, he was supposed to be at the All-Star game, couldn't make it. Neil Walker from the Pirates was there. So, you know, just great performance. And, you know, they actually have something going on this Saturday as well. They have a bubble hockey tournament up at 31 Sports Bar and Grill in Bridgeville for the Yinzer Cup. Play bubble hockey against guys like Ryan Malone and Jacob and Oli from On the Bench. You know, event starts at 6. I unfortunately won't be able to be there because I'm going home, because you know what next weekend is, Tyler, or next week even.
Yeah, that's right. That's Thanksgiving. I'm headed down to South Carolina, where some of the teams in the Big South play. But, you know, definitely a good experience and a good moment, especially as these teams, once again, are nearing the finish line for their donation date.
Yeah, but RMU hockey, I was able to go down there, as I mentioned earlier, and I was able actually to talk with Derek Schooley and Ryan Malone about, you know, or what this event means.
What's going on here is we've got a lot of local celebrities, you know, starting with Ryan Malone, and he brought Brett Kiesel on board, Colby Armstrong, Neil Walker, Sean Sweezum, Brianne McLaughlin, and then the On the Bench guys into Pittsburgh, and they're making a video in support of our program and to help save Robert Morris hockey. They've been outstanding. This is Ryan's been, I can't say enough good things about the support that Ryan Malone has done. This is his baby. This is his brainchild. I'm just along for the ride. I'm letting him run with this, and he's been great. And to have these kind of celebrities out here in support of our program is outstanding.
Well, it's a great day. This is a great program that we're trying to revive. And, you know, I've been fortunate to come to Pittsburgh to learn about hockey. I knew nothing about hockey until I got to Pittsburgh. And the more I learned, the more I loved it. All 3 of my kids are involved in hockey. All of them love the sport. It's probably their favorite sport. And so this is about creating an opportunity for them. You know, we have one of the greatest rinks and facilities here in the eastern United States, and it all of a sudden got erased. And so we're really trying to fight and show how much we care about it, how much it goes, how much opportunity it creates for young people. It's not about us, it's about the youth and creating them an opportunity to go live their dream.
Now, Tyler, you obviously heard Brett there say, you know, how it's about young people wanting to grow that dream of hockey.
That's right.
We're not quite as young, but, you know, what's been one of your favorite moments with RMU hockey?
Well, you know, someone who's been around the rink quite a bit here as I play club hockey for the team. I've gotten a chance to cover the team quite a bit. And I have to say, seeing that Darcy Walsh overtime winner last year was great. What a moment. The whole team swarming him on the boards, him celebrating. That was good. Again, Nick Perkusic, overtime winner that I called to snap the losing streak. Two that I always say. And then, of course, being on the call for J.C. Gebhardt snapping the all-time points record. What about you?
Well, my first trip at RMU was up to Buffalo as RMU was it was 2019, the AHA, or 2018, excuse me, my freshman year, as they traveled up to Buffalo in the Harbor Center, take part in the Atlantic Hockey Playoffs. Unfortunately, weren't able to get done, lost to AIC in overtime, but, just a great moment overall. It's just the postseason pedigree that these teams have that, we haven't seen in a while
because
these teams, it's one of those things that is unfortunate.
So some great moments are in store for the remainder of the season for many teams on campus. But John, what game are you looking at this weekend?
I'm looking at football. They wind down their season as they take on the Fightin' Camels at home. Obviously, they've been very good, 7-1 in their past 8 games at home. George Martin here for the Colonials. It's their senior day. I'm expecting him to ball out. He really does real well. But Caleb Sneed for Campbell, Colonials against Monmouth last week. They allowed 242 yards and 4 touchdowns through the air. So that defense is really going to have to ramp up as they host Campbell at noon on Saturday.
That's right. And, 2 milestones in store. Caleb Sneed almost at 1,000 yards receiving. And, George Martin, as we said it so many times now, almost at 2,000 yards passing. But the game I'm looking at this weekend is heading to the Hardwood, a team who's finally getting a chance to play in front of fans once again, and that is men's basketball against Mount St. Mary's. They're taking them on. Former NEC conference foe.
I've seen Mount St. Mary's before, Tyler.
That's right, all of us have. And 2 guys I'm looking out for. Michael Green has really impressed me to start the season. He's averaging just 7 points a game, but he really commands the ball well. Controls the tempo on the court. He did that against Kentucky. And then a sneaky guy on the offense. He's not averaging, the higher points maybe some of the other guys on the roster are, but Nana Opoku, 7.8 points a game and 4 rebounds a game. He's going to be the toughest guy to, handle in this one. Like we saw them having trouble down low against Oscar Sheboy against Kentucky, but that's Kentucky, obviously. But again, another big guy down low they might get bullied with in the paint. Really, really tough.
Now, those are only a couple games. Now, it's not a big schedule, obviously, with Thanksgiving, but let's take a look at the rest of the upcoming games for the Colonials this week. And there's honestly only one to talk about as basketball takes on Moorhead State next Wednesday at 1. Tyler, what are you looking in that one for?
Well, I'm looking for, again, the continuing emergence of Sol Castro as the premier scoring option on this team. She didn't determine it today, had a bit of an off night, but hey, Esther Castillo was there to pick her up. She's been impressive, and again, continuing to cement the new players on this team, see how they do, see if somebody else steps out on this team against, I believe it's an unfamiliar foe for this team.
Yeah, I'm looking to see, can they keep the momentum going? Obviously, big win against Detroit Mercy to open Horizon League play tonight. You actually tweeted out that they're currently at the top of the league.
That's right. They currently are tied for the league in the Horizon League. Of course, Cleveland State also beat IUPUI over the weekend. And, John, it's the return of the Colonial Crazies. They're making their long-awaited return to the event center for men's basketball.
It's been a long-awaited return, I'll tell you that much. I was at a couple of those games last year covering it. It was insane how quiet it was.
It made the arena feel all the more cavernous. The brand new arena, is a lot bigger than they expect, and there's nobody in there. But again, that NEC championship game in 2020 really left
and that pit game to open up the season, open up the event center. So I think it's going to be a big event when these basketball teams get back home. Tomorrow against Mount St. Mary's, and then next Wednesday as well, women's basketball second. But it's going to be a great game.
Absolutely.
What are your predictions for those 3 games?
Honestly, I'm going to say men's basketball is going to top the mount, get to the top of the mountain, per se, in that one and take a win. They're currently 5.5-point favorites in that game. I think that's a good win to open their home slate. Again, women's basketball gets more. I think it's going to be a bit closer. They've struggled against their non-conference teams. I think they'll fall on that one by a couple of points. And then football, I think they're going to ball out on senior day, like you said, and take the win.
Yeah, I'm going pretty much the same with you. I think they're going to, climb the mountain. They're going to climb over the hump with the Camels and, end Big South with a win heading next season, obviously. Bit of a quarterback question with George Martin potentially graduating and Elijah Jackson. So, new look Colonials next year for the basketball team.
Yeah,
or for the football team, sorry.
Football team.
And the basketball team has a new look this year, but
That's right. It's definitely crazy to see how far these players have come. They've been the guiding hands on the offense ever since we got here at school. Really a tough one. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in here on Colonial Sports Network Center. There we go. But make sure you go to Colonial Sports Network. I'm Tyler Gallo, and for John Hanna, we will see you next time.